Oil, a resource satisfying the ever-increasing energy needs of the Western world, is also a product whose extraction practices have negatively affected some of the most precious environments of our planet. Unfortunately, the northern orient of the Amazon rainforest, located in Ecuador, is one of them. Beneath the biologically rich surface of the Amazon rainforest lie vast oil reserves. In 1964, Texaco became the first major corporation to infiltrate Ecuador and developed oil drilling infrastructure. From 1964 to 1992, Texaco extracted over 1 billion gallons of oil from the region. Because the Ecuadorian government of the 1960s did not regulate Texaco's extraction practices, the corporation used substandard techniques in order to save money, dumping toxic waste across the surface of the rainforest, rather than injecting it back into the subsurface, as best practices at that time required. Today, Ecuador hosts over 1,700 miles of toxic waste, an amount big enough to cover the state of Rhode Island. Chevron, which took over Texaco's activities in Ecuador in the 1990s, has dumped over 18 billion gallons of toxic substances into the Amazon region, and the 18 million gallons the company spilled over time make it exceed the legendary Exxon Valdez spill of 1989. Once an area called the lungs of our planet, the Ecuadorian Amazon is now a victim of environmental degradation. Wildlife suffer, and groundwater used by Amazonian tribes for maintaining traditional ways of life is affected negatively, and indigenous groups' exposure to carcinogens and occurrences of cancer over the past few decades have rapidly increased. 30,000 indigenous people sued Chevron Texaco for its negligent drilling practices, and an Ecuadorian court recently charged the company with a $9 billion fine. Chevron, however, has appealed the case, saying that the Ecuadorian people breach marginalization, making up the story for their own financial gain, and that the Ecuadorian government absolved Texaco of any further legal responsibilities in the early 1990s after Texaco admitted its faults, spending millions to clean the area. However, the fact remains that thousands of marginalized natives continue to suffer each day from toxic waste, and Chevron is desperately trying to hide the disaster from its consumers. If environmental cleanup is not done soon, many believe that countless others will perish, and that the Ecuadorian Amazon will continue to deteriorate at a frightening rate over the next few years.